Hey everybody! The project we're going to be creating today is a picture of an emu. And our emus are going to be very colorful. Emus are big birds that live in places like Australia. Sometimes you can see them at the zoo here. And we're going to be using lots of different colors, and we're also going to be using the element of art line to create our emus. We're going to be working on color blending, and we're going to be using crayons to blend colors. The supplies you'll need for this project are a white piece of paper and some crayons. Gather your supplies and we'll be ready to get started. Okay, I've gathered my supplies. I've got a white piece of paper. I've got some supplies to draw with and some crayons to color with. So we are going to start with our emu's eyes and beak. So I'm going to show you how to draw those. And we're going to start with a pencil. You can just do this with crayon if you'd prefer, but I'm going to do mine with a pencil and then outline with Sharpie. And that way I can erase if I make any mistakes before I get too far. Now I want it to look like my emu's head is kind of turned to the side or caught to the side a little bit. So I'm going to draw my eyes and my beak kind of going diagonally. You can do yours up and down or to the side. It's your decision. Now you can follow along and do your eyes and beak the same way I'm doing mine, or you can do yours in a different way. That's okay. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to draw 2 circles for the eyes, and they're going to be kind of big. They don't have to be perfect and exact. That's good enough. Then I'm going to draw the pupils. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start about right here, and I'm going to do a curved line like that. Same thing over here. And then I'm going to make a little circle right here. And that's going to be like the reflection in the emu's eye, so we're actually going to leave that part just white. Now that's all I'm going to do right now. I'll add in some eyelashes when I use my Sharpie, and you don't have to add them if you don't want to when it's time for you to do yours. So next we're going to do the beak. So I'm going to first make a shape like this. It's kind of like a frown almost. That's going to be the top of the beak. And then I'm going to come out to the sides like that. I'm going to make a little curve around, so like a little small C. On the side it's like a backward C. Curve like that on both sides. And then I'll connect them up like that. And then I'm going to draw a line that kind of just follows along that bottom line like that. That's so it looks like the beak opens. And then I'm going to put like little holes right there, and I'll color those in with my Sharpie when it's time. Okay, so I've got my eyes and my beak drawn. Remember, if you ever need to pause to get caught up or go back to see how I did something, that's okay. Now I'm going to trace and color in some things with my black marker. You don't have to do this step. You can do it with a crayon, or you can just use your pencil, or you can leave it as it is. Now I'm going to go in and take my eraser and erase anywhere that I have pencil lines showing that I have good craftsmanship. Remember, yours might look different than mine, and that's okay. Everybody's can look a little bit different. Okay, so I'm going to add some kind of eyelashes. You don't have to do this step if you don't want to. I'm going to take my Sharpie, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to draw them like that on my emu. You can make yours different if you would like to. You can make them thicker or add more. That's up to you. But I'm going to leave mine like that. Okay, so now I'm ready to start adding the color on my emu. Now we're going to talk a little bit about some colors that would go well together. When you are picking out colors, it's a good idea to pick out colors that are next to each other on the color wheel. Those are what we call analogous colors. That's kind of a long word. It just means they're next to each other and they look good together. So for example, I might choose these colors, pinks, reds, and purples. red and purple are next to each other on the color wheel. So, and pink is just lighter shades of red, right? When we mix white with red, we get pink. So pinks and purples and reds would look good together. I'm going to show you another analogous color family that would look good together. Blues, greens, and yellows. Blue, green, and yellow are all next to each other on the color wheel. They're analogous colors and they look nice together when you combine them together. So I've got different shades of blues and greens and yellow here. Another good choice would be oranges, red, and yellow. So I took my red from that other group that I showed you earlier. So I've got some different oranges, red, yellow. They're analogous. They're next to each other on the color wheel and they look good together. Now you don't have to pick these colors I've shown you, but you can. It's your choice. So what you want to do to start off is you want to start off with at least 3 colors. I've got 5 here, so probably somewhere between 3 to 5 colors would be a good choice to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and just start with one color. It doesn't matter which one I start with. I'm going to pick one of these colors. And I'm going to draw some what we call directional lines. So I'm not just going to scribble back and forth or just color in randomly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to start there and I'm going to draw lines like this. Now, do your lines have to be exactly the same as mine? No, but they should be sort of similar and you're not just scribbling all over. You'll notice I just keep doing these lines over and over again. Okay, I'm started in between the eyes and kind of going out, and I need to fill some of this space in right here. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing. Now I'm going to have to pick my crayon up because I don't want to color on top of the eyes for a couple of these lines here. But notice how far out my crayon is going. Okay, right now we're sticking with just the emu's head. So now I'm going to switch to a different color. So I'm going to pick a different one of my colors and I'm going to do basically the same thing. I'm going to go over some of those spaces with this next color. And notice, remember, I'm not just scribbling and coloring. My lines go kind of start in the middle here and work their way out. It's okay if some of them overlap. If they're a little bit longer or shorter on the outside, that's okay. That will make it look a little bit more natural. And I forgot to do some down here at the bottom. I'll have to go back with my other crayon and fill those in. Go back and add some of those in down here. Okay, now I'm going to again switch to another color that I haven't used yet. So we're blending colors this way by drawing on top of colors that we've already used. This is a way that we can blend colors. Now make sure you're careful. I got a little bit of red in my emu's eye right there. It's okay if it happens a little bit. Same thing in the beak, but try not to get too much. So take your time and make sure you're doing this neatly. Okay, I'm going to go with my lighter. And remember, you really only need at least 3, but if you add more colors, it's just going to look a lot nicer and a lot more filled in with more colors the more you do. Okay, so my emu's head is finished. I'll go back in and color the beak in just a minute, but I'm going to do the neck next. Now you could stick with the same group of colors or you could switch colors. I'm going to actually switch and use a different group of colors, and we're going to do the neck just slightly differently. So I'm going to draw my neck so it's kind of curving like this because my emu's head's kind of turned to the side a little bit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a color and I'm going to just go back and forth with that color for the neck like this. Now emu's necks are long and skinny. They're related to ostriches. Okay, so I don't want to make the neck too wide. So now I'm going to switch to another color. And I'm going to overlap them a little bit and blend them together on that part where it overlaps. Like that. So you can see there's some blending happening right there. So now I have created like layers of color, and where the colors are touching, they kind of blend together and create another color in some places. But remember, since they're analogous colors, they tend to blend well and look good together. Last thing I need to do is the beak, so I'm just going to pick kind of an orangish yellow color, and I'm going to color in the beak. If you want to, you could also give your emu pupils, if you would like, or not pupils, irises, and color them in if you would like. That's okay. I'm going to leave mine as it is. It's your decision. Okay. Now, I've finished coloring in my emu. We use directional lines. That means lines drawn in certain directions to make it look like the feathers are going a certain way. We blended colors by overlapping colors in different ways. Here we drew on top of each other, and here we just overlapped as they kind of connected together. I hope you had a lot of fun creating this colorful emu, and I can't wait to see everybody's creations. Bye!